We're here at Cauliflower Audio in Lakewood, Ohio, with Mr. Adam Booz, the owner, proprietor, and chief engineer. Is that fair enough? Yeah.
Sure.
And so this is a mastering. Well, what all do you do here? Actually, I should ask you.
Predominantly mastering. I've been well, I built the studio about 2 years ago, but I've been doing the I've had the name Cauliflower Audio for about the past 4 years. And I started, mixing, a little bit of mastering, and now my focus has just basically been strictly mastering for vinyl, CD, digital download, and cassette even. There's been a big resurgence with cassette and, so that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, and you've mastered a few projects for me in recent years, and and for this project I'm currently working on, of course, the vinyl is the primary format that I'm excited to explore. And what would you say are some of the unique challenges of mastering for vinyl? Like, what makes it different? I always hear that it's different, and there are special considerations. So.
Well, in comparison between mastering for like a digital format like CD and an analog format like vinyl or cassette. Whereas, and we can debate all day whether CD or vinyl sounds better, but digital formats are a little more forgiving with the amount of signal and frequency content that you can put on them. Because of the nature of vinyl being a physical medium, it really can only handle certain amounts of information. They're particularly sensitive to like sibilance.
So am I.
Yeah, right. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
But if you put too much like transient high-end information, it will just break up and distort. That's one thing. It's really sensitive to like a lot of low-end as well. The bassier a recording, the less you can put on the record. So it's usually quieter, or the grooves have to be spaced a little bit farther. So, but the nice thing about vinyl, especially now, is that people don't seem to be as obsessive over the overall level. So you can get away with being more dynamic. And people like with downloads and with CDs, it's all about make it as loud and as punchy and as in your face as possible. Whereas there you don't really put records on shuffle. It's like you put a record on, you listen to one side, you get up, you flip it over, you kind of cleanse your palate.
Yeah.
So people aren't as obsessed with getting stuff loud, so you can really afford to make it breathe a little bit more.
And what is your opinion, or what do you attribute the sort of resurgence in the interest for vinyl? I mean, I've always been well, since about 1995 or so, I was really into it. And then I actually reached a point where I didn't buy it as much, and I've only in the last 3 months had been in possession of an iPod, but and I do enjoy the portability of that, but nothing really compares to, for me, with the experience and the tangibility of vinyl.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not alone. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Or because you just recently transitioned even yourself to making that a priority, right?
Well, I'd say the scope of my business, and I still do a teeny bit of mixing and format transfers and that kind of stuff, but I'd say 90% of the work that I do is mastering, and I'm really surprised, but 50% of the work I do is for vinyl. I mean, which granted, it's not a cheap medium to put out to release.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to say, because it seems as the music and physical product has been devalued over the past 5 or 10 years. It seems like there has been a resurgence in vinyl. I don't really know why it is, but it's the same kind of thing as like right behind you. There's like analog synths right there, and which I kind of collect some old stuff like that. But it seems that as, you know, you can buy plugins to emulate synthesizers and you can do everything on a teeny little laptop. People have been making analog synths, manufacturers are bringing them in again, and it's just, I don't know if it's a reaction to, this might sound a little pretentious, but a reaction to the devaluation of things and the making things artificial. You know, people want real, they want tangible. And I don't know if it's a huge market. I hope that vinyl becomes the format of choice and it saves the music industry. At the very least, I hope that it's something more than a passing thing. You know?
Yeah.
I really don't know why, but I'm happy because I like, you know, I'm an old dude. I like stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I like going to a show, seeing a band, and I don't want a download card. You know, I want something to take home, you know.
Yeah.
So
I agree completely.